I'm a creative person and I don't need structure. I can just like wing it and it'll be good. No. Before you start filming anything, make sure you do your prep. I'm gonna show you how to structure just about any video on YouTube. So my name's Sebastian Barr. I'm a filmmaker. I went to film school. I learned a lot of things about film and movies and videos and stuff. If you're anything like me, structure just sounds dumb in many ways. When you're trying to do something creative, you might think, no, I'm one of those like, you know, I have a messy desk, or like I'm organized chaos, but that's how I roll. No, it's not. You're a mess. And so let's fix that. As far as videos go, why are you a mess? It's because you need structure. And if you don't believe me, start a YouTube channel and tell me how much you enjoy it in a month. If you're just all over the place, you're going to be all over the place. You need systems to make things work. It helps both the viewer enjoy your content and you, the maker of the content, make it more efficiently and quickly. So first I'm gonna do a quick little sketch of a structure of a video. Here's your timeline. This is the start of your video and here's the end of it. It doesn't really matter how long your video is, the proportions are pretty much gonna be the same. The beginning of your video is always going to be an intro. You could call this a hook. It should be a hook. It should be interesting. It should be entertaining. But more importantly, regardless of what you're doing, it should tell the viewer exactly what you're going to do in the video. Your viewer doesn't have to watch your video. They should be doing all sorts of other things in their life. And YouTube, honestly, is a distraction most of the time. They will appreciate being concise. Next, you're going to have elaboration. That's what I'll call it. I'll just elab for short. Then you've got the main thing in your video. Honestly, this is probably a little too long proportionally, but this is the content. This is the main content. I feel like a teacher. And the last part is your conclusion. Simple. And then maybe a little small thing is your call to action. Conclusion. Boom. Now you might be thinking, you write like a serial killer. And you're right. Just remember what I said and hopefully that'll remind you because it looks close to the word. So these are the main parts of a video. There are so many different types of videos, first of all, on YouTube. So you might be thinking, how does that apply? It probably doesn't apply to everything. It kind of does though. It kind of does. I've made a lot of different kinds of YouTube videos for work in various realms, like very professional things and very unprofessional, ridiculous skits. In the end, they all kind of follow this structure if they work. Now, let me just debunk some ideas before I elaborate on what all of these things look like. You might have been in a class before where they talk about structure like with this schematic of a triangle, and they're like, this is the rising action, and then this is like the most important, exciting part, and then this is the falling action. If you watched a movie and the middle of the movie was the best part, you have no reason to watch the rest of it. You would be so disappointed with the last hour of that movie. This is a terrible idea, and it's just because people want to draw nice isosceles triangles or equilateral triangles, something with a point in the middle. It's just useless. Doesn't help you think of structure. Another reason you might be hesitant to learn about structure of videos or films or anything, or music even, like music theory, is you might feel like you're gonna become less creative by learning more about it. That's just not true. Inherently, if you have more knowledge, you're not more limited. That's just fear that you have to overcome. If you know more, you can use that information, you can play with it, you can adjust as necessary. So coming back to this triangle idea a little bit, if you're watching a video or a movie, what really is happening is the interesting part, first it's gotta be interesting, and it's gotta get way more interesting, and then the end, quickly, it's more like that, honestly. It doesn't always go back to zero. That's more of what a good video or a good movie feels like. It should be bringing you along, getting more interesting all along the way, and that thing, the objective is finally reached, and we wrap it up. And the same feeling is what you should be trying to accomplish in YouTube as well. Your intro, in my experience, it should be 10 to 17 seconds, no more. Like, sounds specific, but that's what it should be. You should tell us exactly what the video is within 10 to 17 seconds. Great. From there, we might still need more information. So that's where you should elaborate. If your video is about a game, or it's a game show or something, this is where you should now explain the rules, or you're going to up the stakes. You're like, oh, but also I have to wear a blindfold. This is where everything that we need to know to understand the main point of the video and enjoy this middle needs to be set up. So let's take Mr. Beast, for example, because everyone uses Mr. Beast when we talk about YouTube. First, he's probably going to yell the video's subject, an interesting thing about you. You don't have to yell, by the way. And then usually he's playing a game. So he'll do these games like the last person to leave a circle wins this much money. He'll tell you that within the first 10 seconds. And then he might tell you who's playing the game, how many people are playing the game, how long the game's going to take, if there are any exceptions to the rules, if he's going to do any surprises, if he's going to play any jokes or something. All that stuff that we need to understand to enjoy watching the game, he then elaborates on, and then we're ready and we're primed. This shouldn't be, it can be any range of time really, but it shouldn't be more than a minute in my experience. We're going to start getting bored after a minute of elaboration for the most part, unless it's really, really good. You could probably pull it off in 30 seconds. Don't go over a minute. Side note, if you're just doing like a how-to video about something, we don't really need that much elaboration. If you're trying to learn a skill or fix something on your car, do you want to watch the 47-minute version or the 5.5-minute version? Get to the point. Don't waste our time. If you're an informational YouTuber, again, you're going to tell them what you're going to tell them. You're going to clarify what you're going to tell them, or give them little hooks to hold on to of like, oh, this is what we're going to learn about. Good. Those are some of my questions. This might be the main topic that you introduce to them, and then you're going to learn about, with all these scribbles, you're going to learn about the specific questions, the 20 questions that are going to be answered. And then this main content, if you're an informational YouTuber, you're going to be answering each one of those questions in sequence. Or if you're an adventure travel YouTuber, this is where you get on the plane and you start going. And we go around the world with you and we see your fun journey. From the beginning, we know what to expect along what you're striving towards. So hopefully you're still following this messy schematic. But here's the thing, this is my content in the middle, so enjoy it along the way. The important thing is that you internalize this understanding. From the beginning of your video, let us know what your objective is. What are you working towards, and what can we expect you to be working towards? See, now I wrote the word objective. So you're going to make that clear in your little intro. You're going to make sure it's clear in your elaboration process. And then you're going to start working towards your objective during this whole content portion. When you reach your objective is the end of the content, or the act 2, or whatever you want to call it. There are different terms for this. And then there's kind of this ending conclusion. This is usually a moment of inspiration, wrap up. You've told them what you're going to tell them. You tell them, and then you tell them what you told them. And you make it very clear. You maybe give them a little message to go away with, help them go act in their lives after this. And then if you're selling a product, or which you probably are being on YouTube, the product is watch more videos. This little wrap up, this conclusion should let the viewer go away with an enjoyable experience so that they don't just feel dropped after you just took them on this journey, whatever it was, whether it was educational or entertaining or both. Give them a little something extra to think about. If you're doing an educational video, this is a really great place to give them action steps or different things that they could do to then take that information and put it in their lives. After all, we feel more productive on YouTube when YouTube kind of tells us how to now get off of YouTube and live our lives. It's a little secret that you're going to get more viewers when you're helping people go live their lives off of YouTube. Try this out. Go watch your favorite YouTubers. See how this kind of fits into what they're doing. Usually they'll tell you what they're going to tell you. They might clarify it a bit, no more than a minute, hopefully. Unless they're really good at it, it's very rare. And then you're going to see what you clicked on the video for. After that, it's usually kind of an inspirational moment, or at least a wrap up, a reiteration of what we've learned. And then there's a call to action usually. That can be as simple as the end card with a little flashing subscribe button. You don't even have to say it. But after enough watching of your YouTube videos, people are going to get that message. Sometimes your call to action can just be, see you next time. If you're selling a product, it might be, here's my product. Like, this is going to teach you more in depth about this. And that's great. Or go to the link in the description, do this thing or whatever. As far as YouTube goes, this is what I've seen, and I've watched a lot of YouTube. So I hope you followed my very unstructured mess here about structure. It's really helped me a lot in making video. I always think of videos this way when I'm making a video. So have fun with it. Enjoy making your videos. You can do it. Get off of YouTube, start making videos, start editing them, see how it goes. So if you're interested in more chaotic serial killer sketches like this about making videos, subscribe to the channel. I'm a guest host on here. You'll see me from time to time. This channel is all about video production, content marketing, and making money on YouTube and so much more. So I hope you enjoy it. Come along for the ride, subscribe, like, do whatever you want.